I hope you can hear me. It's raining pretty hard. I'm sitting outside with this dog. I'm watching another dog. And I am getting ready to go to the city tomorrow to apply for my Spanish visa. And I am so stressed about it. It's at 1 o'clock tomorrow. So no matter what happens at 1:30, I will be so relieved. Either I will have a chance to go to Spain or I won't. And I'm really lucky to have the opportunity anyway, so if it doesn't work out, I'll be sad, but I have other things to look forward to. So I'm trying not to show the incriminating angles. I'm gonna bring the dog back inside and look over my paperwork, and hopefully I'll have everything that I need for tomorrow, besides something that I'm waiting to get approved, whatever. I'm just hoping they'll be nice to me. I don't know. I really don't know. But I wanted to actually have an intro to a video, so I think we did it. I watch this dog all the time, and last time I recorded in like the little office area, but it was also like winter, and it was kind of awkward. It was like dark, like it wasn't good. But I think I figured it out. On this side they have a fence, so the neighbors can't see me, and then on this side they also have a fence, but it's not like blocking the view. Not that I really care, but there are kids over there, and I used to nanny the kids that lived here, and so they moved in after I was working with these kids, but I still know them, so like I think if they saw me right now they'd be like, what are you doing? And maybe that'd be cute. But like yesterday I pulled in the driveway and they were playing basketball, so I like got out of the car and they were like, oh hey, and I had to run in and run out really quick, and they were like, are you leaving? And I was like, I'm gonna be here for like 10 days actually. And they were like, oh okay, where are you going? Like they were asking me all these questions, and I was like, oh, I actually have to go to my violin lesson. And they were like, are you teaching it or are you taking it? And I was like speechless, actually. I was like, I've never considered that you might think I teach violin. That's pretty cool. I wish I was teaching it, but when I was 7 years old I decided to take piano instead. So now I'm sitting out back in one of their foldable lawn chairs. You can see they have a bunch of like the Adirondack chairs back there, but I don't like the angle that those are at. I just like, unless I'm trying to be asleep, I don't want to sit like that. So I know my eye bags are bad, but the makeup is making them look even worse. Just ignore that. I really feel fine, thankfully. I went on a walk this morning with my mom and the dog, and then we went and got coffee at this little general store place, and just hung out for a little bit. And then I actually had to stop home because I don't live that far away. I had to stop home and get all my stuff that I wanted, because yesterday I came right from work, so I didn't bring anything. But my friend texted me last night like kind of late and was like, do you want to go out? Because her boyfriend is in a band. And I was like, yeah, I guess. So I didn't like drink a lot, but I've been tired all week, so I think it's just like, it's really getting to me. I can feel it. And I like got my period yesterday, so I'm not in the mood to be like moving too much. Although I did like sweep their entire first floor and clean the kitchen, but I feel like that doesn't count. It's like my default. Like I literally have to move like all the time, whatever that means for me. But that is considered what I consider low energy. Oh my god, I think they have like these wooden boards over here, and I think there's a cicada shell stuck to one. It's just like, the last time I saw those, it was like a couple years ago, and I went to this like park, and they were like all along the edges of the wall of the park. It was kind of creepy, but it's so cool. Like imagine just being able to like molt. Like, what would that be? That probably feels so good. It's really cute because they were like texting me like just a couple things about the dog. I've watched her a bunch, so I don't like need like instructions. But then they also texted me, they're like, oh, one of the kids is raising frogs, so are you okay with feeding them? And I was like, sure. So they have like mealworms that I have to give them twice a day, and they're over there, you can't see them, but I will we can look at them in a second. But they're so cute. They're just like sitting on the rock and sitting in the sun. Let me see if I can take a voice memo and a video. Hold on. Look at these guys. Look at him! Oh my god. They're all just sitting on the thing. Hold on. Look at them. They're so small. Oh. Yeah, this is the setup they have going on. So every day I just put some worms on those blocks that they're sitting on, and I guess they eat them. Aren't they so cute? Like, I think they said they like got tadpoles from like a pond or something. I don't know how good that is for the pond. These are like the sweetest people. Like, I'm sure they've like looked up what to do with frogs and tadpoles, and their grandfather's like a big like naturalist nature guy, so I guess we'll see. Let me see if the dog wants to come out. My friend was supposed to come over, but she just texted me that she's sick, so now I'm like, I don't know what to do with myself all day. The last time I talked to you was right before I went to the city to apply for my visa, so I'm going to tell you about that. So I always love going to the city. I take the train there, and it's really nice. I love the train. It's like everything I want the airplanes to be, and they just never are. On the way down, I didn't have to sit next to anyone, and I just was hanging out. I listen to my music, I read, I just do whatever. It's just the best. I love taking the train. And I booked a train at a time where I was going to have a lot of time after I got off before my appointment, so I wasn't worried about being late or anything. And every time I've taken the train, it's been totally fine. Like, I've never had any problems, whatever. So this time we're like most of the way there, and the conductor comes on the I can't talk today. The conductor comes on and says that there's a tree across the tracks, and that we have to wait for it to get removed before we can keep going, and he doesn't know how long it'll be. So I was like, awesome. So of course I'm worried that it's going to be like this once in a lifetime event where the tree is going to take forever to remove from the tracks, but thankfully it only took like 20 minutes, half hour, and we were on our way. And I got to the city, and my friend was getting a haircut, and she met up with me at Bryant Park because the office is like 1 block away. And I actually had to go to the library to make copies and print something out. And at Bryant Park, they have the like classic like New York Public Library building, right? Like the fancy one with all the marble and the lions outside and all that. But it's more like a museum than a library. And actually, like, kitty corner down the street, like across the street, there is like, I think it's like Stavros Nirchios Foundation Library. I don't know how to say his name correctly, but I've never been in a like New York library branch that was like real, like functioning as a library. That was cool. They had like 7 floors, and I wanted to go up to the like, I guess it goes all the way to the roof, and they have like a cafe on the roof, but I kind of like tried to, but the elevator, I tried to take the stairs from the 6th floor, and then you couldn't, and I was like, I don't care enough. So what should I do with my hair? Let me know. Yeah, anyway, so I went to make my print, and if it's funny because I'm a librarian, and when I go to libraries, I feel like undercover almost. Like, I don't want to walk up and be like, I'm a librarian too, I get it, kind of thing. But I also, so I'm trying to like just be polite and like ask the questions I need answered. But it is really interesting to like experience library service from the other side. It's not they did a fine job. I'm just like saying, like, I feel like I have like a secret or something. So and I actually, when I was printing my copies, I was printing them incorrectly, so I'd never ended up paying for them. So sorry guys, I'm sorry. You didn't need a card though. I do have one of like the digital New York Public Library cards that you can get if you're a resident of New York State. I will link that below. And then you can access all their like digital materials. But to make copies to print, you didn't have to sign in. You did have to pay, but like at the library I work at, you have to pay the person at the desk. So it's a lot more like steps to get your papers. But I just like tapped Apple Pay on the little kiosk thing, and it like automatically like, charges you like $5, and then it deducts your purchases from that amount. So it was really easy, honestly. It was really great. Anyway, so I got in at like 10:30 and my appointment was at 1:30. So I go to the building for my appointment and I check in, and it's like so crowded. And they tell you to get there like 10 minutes before your appointment, but they're dealing with like international legal documents, and also like people don't come prepared whether they mean to or not, so it's like they're so behind. So I sat there for like an hour and a half before it was my turn. And the thing I was worried about is that you need like an international notarization of your FBI background check. And I just didn't read the instructions well enough because my life's been like so hectic. So it was like 100% my fault. That I just realized I needed that like 2 weeks before my appointment. And I didn't have it, but I printed the receipt and I brought it in, and I was hoping that they would accept that, and thankfully like the lady was like, sure, I'll send that along. But what I didn't have apparently was that I needed copies of my passport and license. I needed them copied, but then I needed the copies notarized, which doesn't really make any sense to me. So she sent me away and said, you have to come back next week or whenever, and I was like, okay. And I like, it's so uncomfortable to be in that room because like people are like they're handling serious documents, these people who are working. So it's like the people who are coming in applying for stuff, they're so stressed and they're so emotional, and then they like try to argue with the people working, or like they're like especially like, I mean, you're watching like white women interact with a service worker is like fascinating, and I say that as someone who looks like this. So like it's just like people are crying, people are like, but what about this, what about this? And like, they don't, sometimes they are wrong, but it's like when she said that, I was like, I'm not gonna be this person to like argue over something that's like, they do this every day. I'm sure I am wrong, and I was, and it's just like I was like, yeah, okay, I will figure it out, like I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna somehow like make this your problem. I think we just need to try to make sure that we read the instructions correctly and bring the things that they ask, and not cry when someone tells you no, and try to plan ahead and manage our time well. That's what I think. And so I just said, all right, and I left. My friends were waiting for me, and they actually got a text from a couple other friends who were in town who I didn't know, but they were like, we're at the Times Square Margaritaville, you guys should come. So we ended up walking the 2 blocks or whatever to the Margaritaville, and it was really something else. I've never been to one. That was my first time at a Margaritaville establishment, and I try not to say brands, but I thought this was really funny. And I didn't end up getting anything. My friend got the perfect margarita. He said it was all right. It was like $17 or something, so that's why I didn't get anything. But we got to see the show that goes on when like the Statue of Liberty does its thing, because we were in the Statue of Liberty booth, like they we were like underneath the Statue of Liberty. It was completely ridiculous, but it was a lot of fun, and I got my family shot glasses. But yeah, so that was like Friday evening, and everything was closing. It was about to be the weekend, and I was able to make an appointment for Monday, thank God. But the thing was, I had to find a notary, and it was the weekend, so basically Monday morning I had to go back to all these places that I saw had notaries, and I was super lucky because the one place that had told us they opened at 9, I went like at 9:15. I had like run to the bank to try it, but the bank was like super full, so I went back and I was like, do you guys have a notary? And they said yes. and I was like, this is really strange, but I need these copies notarized. She was like, okay. I don't know, I thought it would be harder, whatever. So thankfully it ended up being really easy. I got my things notarized. I went back to the library actually to print out my new paperwork, and then I went to my appointment and they took it, and they still have my passport, but I got an email from them saying we're missing the document that I was talking about. And I was like, okay, great. I knew that. They gave me 10 days, which is a great window. And I had actually paid like way too much money to speed up the process of getting it notarized and translated. And it came in the mail yesterday. So it's the weekend now. I can't do anything, but I have to email it to them on Monday and hope that they don't say that I have to bring it in. Because in the email it was like, if this is something that needs to be approved in person, you have to come in between the hours of 3 and 4 p.m. Like, and I'm just thinking about, like, of course it's only children of rich parents that do this, because if I didn't happen to live, like, a short train ride away and have the money to pay for those tickets, like, they're not cheap. Like, that's a nightmare. Like, I don't know how there would be a better system, maybe an Albany office or something, right? I don't know. But yeah, it's really something. So hopefully I don't have to go back down, but if I have to, I'll do it. So I basically ended up having an amazing weekend with my friends, courtesy of BLS International, and it was, like on Saturday we just hung out. At this point I visited them enough where that we don't have to like do anything crazy, but we just went to a bookstore, we went to the park, we hung out in their apartment. It was really nice. We actually on Friday night ended up like staying out for a bit, and we went to this one bar that had a mechanical bull, and we all went on the mechanical bull, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah. The only other thing I'll mention before I end this, because I'm taking up so much time, is that I got a new tattoo, and it was so fun. It was so funny because, like I said, I stayed the whole weekend, so it's like my friends have plans, and both of the friends I was staying with had dates at the same time on Sunday night. And so I was like, okay, great, I'll just hang out by myself. I don't need to be entertained. I'm good. So I was on Instagram, I was just flipping through stories or whatever, and someone I followed who's in the city was like, does anyone want a tattoo today at 4:00? I'll give you a discount. And I was like, is this still available? And they were like, yes, it is. I was like, oh my God, this is so perfect. So my friend and I actually ended up Ubering to like where I was going, because she was going somewhere nearby. And I'll just say, like, I just don't like Ubering. Like, I just don't like it. It would have been a long walk, but so it was like fine, but I'm just like, damn, people do this all the time. I hate it. I really hate it. So she kind of like dropped me off my appointment. And it's funny because I have been to that studio before for these. Oh, nice. So I knew where I was going. That was nice. But it was just us. It was Sunday evening. And this person does hand poke tattoos only. So I was there for like 3.5 hours because I ended up picking the big design. But I thought it was really interesting. I thought that it was really like easy, you know, like I'll show you. Hold on. Let me see. This might be like the worst spot to try to show at this angle. I'll have to take a picture of it and put it in here. But I have to make a video about getting a hand poke tattoo because that was my first time and it was really great, honestly. Like, I was kind of worried about it just because it's new, and I always wonder, like, when you get a tattoo, if you're gonna like click with the artist, because it's like, especially if it's bigger, you're gonna have to like sit there and talk to them for a while, and it's not like you have to talk to them, but otherwise it's like so awkward. And at first I was like, I don't know, like, I think my conversational skills are pretty good, but I just always get nervous, and it ended up being fine. We were talking about like Buddhism and reading and art as a practice, and I learned a lot about her life, and like, it was really cool. And now I have a really awesome tattoo that I didn't expect to get, but I'm so thrilled to have. And I don't know why I'm like pretending that I can't tell you who did my tattoo. It was by Sydney Kleinrock, and I'll put her Instagram in the description. But yeah, and this one was by Ella Sklar. They are also in that studio. I'll link everything. But good experiences with both of them. It was really cool. Yeah, would definitely recommend if you're in the Gowanus area. God, I like get on this and I'm like, I don't know what to talk about, and then it's been 30 minutes. I'm like, I might as well just go do a podcast. Like, what am I doing? I need to end this. But see, it's a sign. I got to 30 minutes and the camera shut off because that's the max I can do in one chunk. So let me stop recording this and let me go edit it. And yeah, so I am going to wrap this one up. I am going to take a shower and draw and clean and feed the frogs. And maybe I'll put that in the end. I will after this, you can watch me feed the frogs. Okay, so I hope you have a great rest of your day and enjoy me feeding the frogs their dinner. Okay, bye. Okay, I told you that I'd show you when I feed the frogs, so we're gonna do that now. This is their little setup. These are mealworms, and they're alive. So I basically take them out with the tweezers, and I put them like on these little blocks where the frogs are sitting. So I'm gonna do that. It's not the best angle, but you kind of have to dig for them in here. They like blend in. So gross. I used to have to feed the chickens mealworms too. I used to watch some of these chickens, but they were dead. They were all like dried up, like they were like little flakes. So, okay. All right, one more. Last one. Okay. Close those. Put the cover back on. This brick holds it in place. And they're all good. And that's it. So, they're so cute. We went walking tonight too over a different trail, and there was one spot that we walked to where we must have scared them, but there was like a whole like, I don't know what a group of frogs is called, I guess, but like a herd of frogs like hopped out of the grass. I have to look up what a group of frogs is called and I'll put it here. But that's it. Thanks for watching. See you later.